Taking its inspiration from last year's well-received Hazumi concept is this, the new Mazda 2. Compared to the previous model, the new car is said to be lighter, safer and better equipped, and to our eyes it's certainly better looking too. The new look is most evident at the front, where Mazda's familiar chrome wing motif flows from under the grille and into the headlights, which, on top of the range Sport Nav models, incorporate the wing shape into the LED running lights. From the rear, it's perhaps a little harder to tell the old and new models apart, and would have liked to have seen the chunky bumper and cheeky roof spoiler from the concept make it onto the production version. That said, there's a nice bit of detailing in the rear light clusters, and the various swage lines that link elements such as the front wings and rear lights give the Mazda a pleasing side profile. The bulk of the attention that's been lavished on the new car, however, has been on the interior. The new Mazda 2 is slightly larger than the old car in all directions and uses a longer wheelbase, and this has allowed Mazda's engineers to increase cabin space, particularly with regard to shoulder room, and there's enough travel in both the seat and the reach and height adjustable steering wheel to mean that even very tall drivers can get comfortable. The dashboard has a much more attractive design to it, and the quality of the materials has been improved almost everywhere. We particularly like the weave effect trim that pops up in various places, while the swivelling air vents are both attractive and well engineered. All but the entry-level model benefit from Mazda's excellent MZD Connect system, which provides a healthy array of multimedia and connectivity options, plus on nav models, a well-designed navigation system that offers not just some of the clearest guidance on the market, but also full European mapping and 3 years worth of free updates. The system is controlled either by issuing voice commands, by jabbing at the 7-inch touchscreen, or by using what Mazda calls its multimedia commander, which allows you to fairly quickly flick and twist your way through the various menus. We have to say it's a million miles away from the old system, and is in fact rapidly becoming our favourite in-car infotainment system for its appealing high-res graphics, massive vehicle settings, and its ability to play music from pretty much any source you can think of, including at least a couple of internet services, an MP3 player, or even good old USB sticks. You even get a CD player, something that's often missing from new cars these days. The driver gets an elegant set of instruments to look at, based around a central speedo, while a safety pack can be added to some Sport Nav models that includes a head-up display as well as blind spot monitoring and automatic high beam control. Rear seat passengers get a couple of extra centimetres of knee room, and despite the sloping roofline, headroom is good, certainly plenty for a couple of 6-footers. Similarly, boot space is increased by 30 litres to 280, with the now ubiquitous puncture repair kit under the floor, space increasing to 950 litres with the rear seats folded forward. 4 engines are available, with the petrol models all using a high compression 1.5 litre unit in 3 versions, 75, 90 or 115 PS, plus a low compression 1.5 litre diesel with 105 PS. Not surprisingly, the diesel model is the most efficient, emitting just 89 grams per kilometre of CO2 and recording up to 83.1 mpg on the government tests. The quickest is the 115 PS petrol model, which can sprint to 62 miles an hour in a respectable 8.7 seconds, while still emitting just 117 grams per kilometre and achieving up to 56.5 mpg. The petrol engine in our test car settled down nicely once on the move, and even though pushing into the upper reaches of its rev range makes it a little whiny, there's nothing too harsh about it. The manual transmissions, 5-speed on the 75 and 90 PS units, 6 on the 115 PS and diesel models, all have fabulous shift actions, something Mazda seems to do consistently well, with not just a well-weighted movement but also a sporty short throw. The ratios are well chosen too, but we found the Mazda to be incredibly forgiving of being in the wrong gear. Of course, to get the best from it, you'll need to rifle your way through the gearbox to keep things on the boil, but if you're feeling lazy, the little Mazda will happily lollop along in a high gear without complaining. Despite its modest output, we had little trouble winding up our test car for a series of overtakes, and even on the motorway or pulling out into fast-moving traffic, the little Mazda continues to feel like a bigger car than it really is. We still like to see a high-power version though, perhaps wearing an MPS badge. Mazda, it seems, is reluctant to get involved in turbocharging, but we can't help feeling a small diameter turbo on the 1.5 litre engine, or even a larger normally aspirated unit taken from the Mazda 3, would make the Mazda 2 a seriously compelling option for a wider audience, without having to sacrifice its fuel-efficient mantra. Much of that stems from the fact the new Mazda 2 is also a tidy handler. There's a bit of pitching when accelerating hard off the line, but lateral movements are well controlled. The steering does have a slight edginess around the straight ahead position, but either side of this it offers sharp turn-in and a lot less understeer than you might be expecting. Also impressive is the ride comfort. Dropping the Mazda's little wheels into the worst potholes we could find did little to upset things, and we were particularly impressed by the way the suspension's movements were insulated from the cabin. This is all adding up to an endearing little car. The brakes have real bite, it turns in well, is docile around town, rides quietly and comfortably, and we averaged around 53 mpg during our time with it. The entry-level SE grade, which starts at just under 12 grand, can feel a little like the poor relation, but move up to the SEL grade for just £1,000 more, and you gain alloy wheels, fog lights, folding heated door mirrors, cruise control, speed limiter, lane departure warning, smart city brake support, and a lot more. In truth, the 90 PS petrol engine is probably more than sufficient for most people, and while the 115 PS version gains some welcome performance and loses very little in terms of economy, it does nudge the price up to just under 17 grand. For our money, we'd still love to see Mazda make a hotter version with chunkier styling and a bit more fizz. But that's not because the Mazda 2 is lacking. More recognition that what Mazda have created is a little car that can already punch well above its weight.